Today we're going to be covering the best settings for your controller and your graphics settings, whether you're on a console or on PC. So if you're on PS5 or Xbox, these will apply to you as well. So let's start with display. You're going to run full screen borderless or exclusive, depending on how many monitors you have on PC. Then you want to hop down to NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency. I run on plus boost, and this is what most Call of Duty games are going to require based upon CPU usage. The CPU usage doesn't matter what game it is, it's always going to need on plus boost. Eco mode, you're going to go ahead and put custom. You don't need to worry about battery life and how it drains on your electric bill, because you know what, if you're not paying your electric bill and mom is, she can handle it. If not, it doesn't do that much for it anyway. Custom frame rate unlimited. You want to do reduce menu render resolution as native, pause game rendering off, reduce quality when inactive. I go 10 minutes. I don't usually leave my thing hanging that long anyway. And then turn off high dynamic range. All right, for the quality settings, now I go ahead and do custom. Let me walk you through here because you got a lot. We got extreme, ultra, balance, basic, minimum. What do you choose? Custom's going to be the way to do it, and here are the settings you're going to want to do. You're going to make sure that your render resolution is at 100%. Dynamic resolution is off. You don't want to run that at all. Then on your Fidelity FX cast, that is what you're going to want to select here out of all your options. And on console, it's going to be selected as well. And your cast strength, you want to go ahead and put that at 65 for console, and then 90 to 100 on PC, depending on how much your PC can handle. NVIDIA DLSS frame generation off, scale target for VRAM at 80, variable rate shading. I'm keeping this on for now. I haven't seen any issues with it, so we're gonna keep rolling with it. Texture resolution, normal. Texture filter, anisotropic, ultra. Depth of field off, detail quality normal, particle resolution normal. You can do that off or normal depending on which one you like. You can do very low or normal. I do normal. Bullet impacts on, I like to see where the bullets go. Persistent effects on. Shader quality, I do medium. I think this is kind of a good in between. It doesn't take up too much time when you're updating your shaders, and it gives you the best looking game, I think so, when you're playing the game. You can see it here in the demonstration on the right hand side. I really enjoy medium. On demand texture streaming is optimized, and then I go ahead and put cache at 30. And then I put or cache at 32 and download limits off. You can change that depending on what your internet is at home. Your local texture streaming quality normal. You can go lower normal. This again really realizes on how your internet is at your house. Shadow quality low, screen space shadows low. Occlusion and screen space lighting medium, screen space reflections off. Static reflection qualities high. Tessellation near, volumetric quality medium, deferred physics quality low, weather grid normal, water quality off. Now this will give you a very good looking game, and stay tuned here just in a minute. I'm going to show you a couple more tweaks to make sure that game looks bright, beautiful, and very colorful when you're playing. All right. Now view, motion reduction preset, obviously going to be off. Field of view, I rock 110 in multiplayer and 120 in Warzone. So I think that's personal preference, but I think 110 with multiplayer helps aim assist be a little sticky because the target is bigger when you're aiming. So I think 110 is the way to go. ADS field of view is always affected. Wide. Third person field of view, just max that out to 90. Vehicles, we're not really using that much, so go wide. World motion blur off. Weapon motion blur off. I don't even know why these things are still in there. It's campaign related. You don't need it in multiplayer. First person camera movement, 50%. Third person 50%, third person ADS, and inverted flashbang. I just go off on that one. Now there's a new tool for PC on Benchmark. You could run that. I haven't messed with it too much, but it is something you can do. One thing I will note here though, when you're messing with the view and everything, you can see these little stars here. That's a good way to go back to quick settings to make sure if you want to change your field of view, say you want 107 or 108 or 109 or 120, you don't have to go find it. So if you star these by hitting Y, it'll add them and remove them, and then you can go back to them later. It's a nice little thing they have. Now let's look at the controller settings. Here's what you're going to want to run. I'm running a Black Ops 6 Scuff Envision Pro, which you can take a look at right here. Let me see if I can get it focused on the camera for you. Just came out. Beautiful controller. So that is what I'm using, and here is the layout. It's got paddles on the back, but this will apply to Xbox and PS5 controllers as well. So my button layout's default, stick layout's default. I run 7/6, so 7 horizontal, 6 vertical, and then I don't mess with any of these other bumper pings. The only thing I mess with is I don't like vibration when I'm gaming, because I don't want my hands to vibrate when I'm shooting somebody, so I turn that off. Now the dead zone, this is important. So here's something that's new this year. here. One is you have your stick dead zone. So I highly recommend you do this. You go ahead and click it on, and you can see I'll center it on my new controller. Now it's at 0 on there. So now you got totally on 0. So you kind of know if it's on 0, then you're going to go ahead and turn this off, and then your left stick minimum, go ahead and put it at 1, and your right stick minimum, put it at 1. Now, if you have a little bit more, adjust these a little bit more up. Now your left stick max, that's at 75. And the reason why it's at 75 is I wanted to get max strength by the time I hit the red zone here. So you can see on the right-hand side, once I hit that zone, I'll be maxed out on the left stick. Gets a little bit quicker when you're doing the Omni movement. Now the left trigger and right trigger, make sure those are at 0. You don't want any delay when you're shooting your gun. That would make an ADSing. That doesn't make any sense. All right, aiming. So this one they've kind of moved around a little bit. Sensitivity multiplier is in here. I run 0.85. I will make a video about how to kind of figure all your aiming stuff out and all these like third person ground vehicles, tablet sensitivity. I'll make a separate video on that. But the only thing in here you want to look at, a lot of people run a 1.0. I found it over the years that 0.85 is better for me. So this gives you, it either slows it down when you're aiming, like with a sniper rifle or with an SMG or an AR. Play with this for you, figure out what's the best number for you, but 0.85 is what I really recommend. Now in the aiming advanced settings, there are a couple things they moved around. So you got aim response curve type. That's going to go ahead and be dynamic. That is going to be the best way to do that. You could manipulate with the slope scale, but I wouldn't touch that at all. But dynamic is the way to go. Linear, these are just old school ways of doing it. Dynamic's the best way. It's been in here in the game for a while, but go ahead and make sure that's on dynamic. It comes standard set before. Target aim assist, just make sure it's on. Super easy. Motion sensor behavior off. And there's nothing in the advanced settings that you need to worry about. Those are the gyroscope settings. That you're not using your controller as a gyroscope. First of all, I don't even know anybody is. They must have found like 8 people that do it. I don't know why it's even in the game. All right, movement. Now here is some critical information. Tactical sprint assist, auto tac sprint. If you heard that before, turn that on. That is important. Then hit your button and go to show more. Sprint assist delay needs to be at 0. Sprint assist sideways on, sprint assist backwards on. So that gives you the full Omni movement, and there's no delays when activating it. Mantle assist off, I want to be able to control that. Crouch assist off, I want to be able to control that. Corner slicing is when you go left and right here, and you can tell, hey, like in the game that's new for Black Ops 6, if you don't like it, that's the setting to turn it off. Slide and dive behavior. Now, I can't stress this enough. Hybrid is the way to go. You tap only to slide, then tap while holding sprint input to dive. So it just gives you both ways of doing it with Omni movement. Now you can dive back, you can dive left, you can dive right. Hybrid is going to be the best way to do that. Auto door peek off. I go automatic airborne mantle off, sprint restore on. Slide maintain sprint on. A lot of this stuff is already built in by default. Parachute automatic behavior off. Mantle cancels reload on. And then the movement advanced settings. The only thing I change in here is the grounded mantle. I turn that off. I don't want to mess with that. Sprint door bash, that's always going to be the way to go. I like to just run through a door. I don't have to open every single door. It's like hold the door, like Game of Thrones. Vehicle behavior, nothing with that. Combat, let's take a look at this. All right, a lot of this is going to stay the same for default, but you got aim down sight behavior, hold, weapon mount activation, ADS and melee, hold melee, armor plate, all at once, apply all, C4 detonation activation. You can do all at once or one by one. It's really up to you. Equipment behavior, hold, and then combat's advanced settings. There's a couple things in here that you think you might want to change, but you really don't need to do in multiplayer. The biggest one is going to be the tap to reload. Now you're probably thinking, oh no, we do tap to interact. That is tap to interact, but that is in Warzone. Multiplayer, tap to reload. That's the way to do it. Don't want to mess with that. Comes that way. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone. You'll be good to go. All right. Then go down here, overlay advanced settings. Nothing really here to mess with. All stays normal. All right, let's go into our interface. There's a lot of stuff in interface that they've added. So let's start with our global settings here. The only thing I change here is gameplay tips I turn off. I left the tutorials on just in case. I skipped the movie introduction. I don't skip the kill cam. I like the kill cam. And I turned off the tool tips. Now I like to go ahead and turn on a couple things here from like server latency, FPS counter, graphic card time, just to kind of see what's going on. You can turn on a clock too, but those are the ones I recommend you turn on for telemetry. And then connection meter off, network and game alert icons on and on. Now readability here, there's a lot of stuff for subtitles, subtitle size. I don't really mess with anything, but the big thing here is color customization. You can go in here and you can customize your colors. Now it brings over the colors from Warzone and previous games. So these are the colors I've set that work best for me. Now keep in mind, I am colorblind, so these actually settings work great. What the biggest thing you should be doing though is at the bottom. So go ahead and do color filter 2. Color filter target both world color intensity 100 and then interface color intensity 100. So remember earlier when I said, hey, these settings are going to be under that custom or balance setting, but we're going to make it pop later. This will make your game really pop off the screen and look bright and vibrant. So this is again, filter 2, both 100, 100. That is something you're going to want to do. Gameplay HUD. You can change the presets. You can change the bounds. I'd leave mine alone. Some people bring it in so they can see better when they're looking left and right on the screen because they may be on a bigger TV. I'm on a monitor, so I don't really have to mess with that too much. This is where minimap shape, it's going to come with round. You're going to want to put square, and then leave minimap rotation on, radar off, compass type minimap, and then that is going to be all the standard things right there. I wouldn't change anything else down this other like widget visibility. There's nothing really there that's going to help you. Audio, let's take a look at audio. Master game audio, I do 100, dialogue volume 30, effects volume 100, gameplay music volume 0. You can go ahead and turn this back up if you like for multiplayer and Black Ops 6. I just turn it off for Warzone and that carries over. And the cinematic music, you might want to turn that back up if you're going to play the campaign. I go ahead and do default system here, stereo, and then enhanced headphone mode I turn off. I don't really need anything for that. The audio mix, I've gone with Treyarch mix this time. Been playing for a few hours. I really think that mix sounds nice. Footsteps are coming through pretty loud. You can mute licensed music if you like, and then you can go through all these settings, but they're really the reduced sound here under functionality. I turn that on. Hit marker preset, I leave that. And then voice chat, I turn that down volume to 44. I leave it on. You can turn it off. Proximity chat's the same thing. Body shield chat, now you can turn it off and or on if they take you. Last words, voice chat is on, and then party only for the game channel, or you can do all lobby depending, and then obviously use your microphone and all of that when you're selecting your default devices here. And then we wrap up with looking at your quick settings. So these are the settings that I want to go ahead and change on the fly. If I want to mess with my 7.6, I want to mess with my button layout. These are the ones that you can star. You can star up to 15 of them to get what you want to change things quickly. But that is going to be the easiest way and the best settings for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And hey guys, that is all the settings you're going to need for Black Ops 6 multiplayer. I hope you enjoy the game. And as always, if you like videos like this, go ahead and tap or touch the screen now and check out these videos that I got for you as well.